2010 Parish Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Would everyone please stand while LaSalle Williams says the prayer and pledge.
Our gracious Father in heaven, we come give Him thanks. It's in your word you say we have not because we ask not. And we thank thee and we ask thy blessing upon this board. Ask that blessing upon the staff and those in the audience who come seeking our help. We ask to let the Holy Spirit guide us and lead us that we might do that which is pleasing in our sight. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have you taken arenas, please? You taken arenas, please?
Thank you, Coach Williams. Before we have roll call, I'd like to introduce Ray Taylor. He's a new member of the board from Sulphur.
How y'all doing? Nice to be here.
Roll call, please, Christy.
Chair John Duhon.
Here.
Vice Chair Harold Doucette.
Here.
Mr. LaSalle Williams.
Here.
Mr. Jake Porche.
Here.
Mr. David Connor.
Here.
Mr. Ray Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Whit Baker.
Here.
Mr. Gary Navarre.
Here.
Miss Betty Brown.
Here.
Miss Latricia Cobb.
Here.
And Mr. Elijah Gilreath.
Here.
Thank you, Christy. This is an 11-member board. It will take a majority of those members present to grant or deny any request heard tonight. The meeting will be conducted with me reading the request from the agenda. The planning staff will give a presentation and report their recommendations. If the applicant would like to add to the staff's presentation or if someone from the audience has any comments, please come to the microphone here at the corner, state your name and address and the nature of your request. All persons wishing to speak other than the applicant need to fill out a blue card. You'll find them back there in the back. Hand them up here to the desk, please. After the discussion, the board will vote on each request. I will announce the decision of the board after each vote. The zoning variances is final tonight, and the study will go before the police jury for final action on Thursday, September the 23rd, 2010 at 5:30 p.m. in this same room. This meeting is being taped by the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel and can be viewed on Wednesdays and Thursdays following the meeting. For additional run dates, check the website www.cppdj.net. Channel 5 in Lake Charles, Sulphur covers it. Channel 61 in Moss Bluff, Westlake, Benton, and DeQuincy, and Channel 99 in Carlos and Grand Lake. At this time, if everyone please turn off your cell phones so we won't have any interruptions, including me. Next is to take appropriate action on, for approval of the minutes for the August 17th, 2010 Planning and Zoning meeting.
Motion for approval?
I got a motion from
Second.
Mr. Doucette, a second from Mr. Gilreath. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Next is to take appropriate action on case VA 06-011-10, a request by Billy Hansborough for a zoning variance to allow 2 dwellings on one lot at 3519 Palm Drive in Ward 6. Ms. Wallace?
His property is located north of Sulphur, and it encompasses 1.5 acres of R2 zone property. In January of 2010, the petitioner and the property owner came into our office and received a permit to move a manufactured home onto this property. And then in July, his daughter came in to get another permit to move a second manufactured home on this property. And at that time, we were submitted a site plan that indicated that the property was adequate to support 2 dwellings on one lot. After the petitioner's daughter moved her manufactured home out there, we received a complaint from a citizen that they did not have enough property. So we did some investigating into it, and we did find that there was a mistake on the site plan that was presented that actually gave them, made them about 1/2 acre shy of what they needed to have 2 dwellings on one lot. So they do need to have a zoning variance to keep the 2 dwellings on this lot, and the daughter plans to live there to take care of her father, who is in the other manufactured home, and to take care of the grounds also. The staff recommends that the request be granted with the stipulations that the development adhere to the site plan on file and that both manufactured homes be skirted within 30 days of zoning approval.
Thank you, Ms. Wallace. Any questions? Any board members? Is the applicant here? Someone representing the applicant? Yes, would you please step to the mic, state your name and address real quick?
I'm sorry, while she's on the web here, I neglected to mention that you do have a petition at your desk,
Right up.
just in case if that's referenced.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
My name is Vivian Hooper. I am here on behalf of my father, Billy Hansbrough. My address is 2207 Hazel Street in Westlake.
Thank you. And you understood the stipulations about skirting and all that?
Yes, sir. We do have it on the second dwelling that is there now. We have already put it up.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Thank you, ma'am. I've got one person, Anthony Blanchard. Please state your name and address, please, sir.
Anthony Blanchard, 3526 Palm Drive, Sulphur. The problem I have with it is I live right across the street, and once you open the floodgate with these two trailers, I can count the number of people. There's going to be about 3 other people going to petition y'all to put another trailers on their lots, and Palm Drive is going to look like a trailer park. You know, I have a home, $200,000 home. And the more trailers you put, the more property, my property goes down in value. That's why, that's why I'm against it. Not that if they'd had one trailer on it, that's fine. But if they don't have enough, to me, they don't have enough lot to put 2 trailers on.
Any questions, Mr. Blanchard? Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Connor.
Mr. Blanchard, I guess, one of the things that we face here quite often in these requests for variances is family members will come that are in need of taking care of the family members, and quite often what we'll do is amend a request that it applies only to that family member living in that dwelling, and if they leave or they move, that dwelling would have to be moved off the lot. Would that make you feel a little better that those others' petitions wouldn't be like you said, a start of some other petition request?
No, it wouldn't. I wouldn't go for that either, because they're always going to have a stipulation that they got to take care of their father, their mother, or whatever, and it's a never-ending story. And if you turn around and you let everybody do it, the end of that road is going to look like a trailer park.
No, I'm not talking about a never-ending story. I'm talking about one family with one amendment for one property.
And then
And when the next one comes, they come and make their request on their own. It has nothing to do with this one. It does set a precedent. However, this is one property and one request. So I'm not talking about anything beyond this.
I'm still against it.
Any other questions or comments?
Is the daughter,
Mr. Baker.
is the daughter here?
I
that's
think
gonna live
she
in the
is.
trailer?
She is speaking. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. You can. Yes, ma'am. That's what.
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Doucette.
Sir, were you aware that there was a petition going through your neighborhood?
Yeah, and I was never approached to sign it.
Well, I think I looked at the petition, it was in a petition of acceptance. It wasn't a petition whether you had an opinion on it or not, it was whether you supported it or not. So those people that signed it, I didn't count it, but from looking at the, I would say it was a good majority of the neighborhood signed in an acceptance of these people doing this. And we'll call the applicant up, and the girl that's gonna live in the home or propose to live in the home, we'll ask her how many, but just to ask if you were aware of it, to know that it was going through your neighborhood and that a lot of your neighbors signed in approval of this.
Well, I've spoken to a few of them, and they've come across to me as, what business is it of yours? I've had 3 or 4 people ask me that. Why do you even care?
It's your neighborhood, you should care.
I do care. That's why I'm here. And some of them don't. A lot of them, I spoke to some this afternoon, and they said, that's down the road for me. I don't care. And that's just their attitude. You know, that's why me and my wife are the only 2 here. They don't care.
Ms. Blanchard, you want to please state your name and address?
My name is Tammy Blanchard. I'm from 3526 Palm Drive, Sulphur, Louisiana. The problem we have with this issue is like we have, you have seen the trailers. We have we've got pictures of our home, and people in our neighborhood were already told. Anna Stallert next to us, when we first moved in there, she could not have a secondary home on her property. The Daigles had to move their secondary home after damages from Rita and Hurricane Ike out when they moved their secondary home onto their premises because they were not allowed 2 establishments on one property. So what that's going to do in turn, by y'all allowing these people to do this, is going to give them an open option to say, okay, now we can move our trailer back in. Okay, we can move Ms. Daigle. They want to move their second trailer in, but they're letting everybody else do their legwork for them. So, you know, it's just opening up a hornet's nest. Now, the gentleman, he's only approached me one time from across the road. He's in perfectly good health from what I could see. He's always out there mowing the grass on a tractor, weed eating. I'm there all day long. I mean, he's as healthy as all you guys. Why isn't he here representing himself? It's not because he's ill. I mean, I don't know. I just saw him. You know, if it's health issues, I've not seen no health issues here. He's very, very, very well able to take care of himself because he approached me abruptly in my home's driveway. You know, this is our home. We've got properties in our area we're trying to get taken care of to bring it to standards. In our, you know, in our abstract and title of, it says 1 dwelling per property. I mean, come on, we pay our taxes. We do what we are told to do out there. You know, we call the water district. Water district says that they're going to piggyback them a second option of having the second trailer on a flat rate. That's not right. We're all on meters out there. You know what I'm saying? They should be metered as well as that secondary home. You know, they're letting things slither in there that shouldn't even be happening. Yeah, it might look good today, but you ought to see what's behind those 2 trailers they're hiding. They got campers, they got Winnebagos. It looks like a dump. Has anybody decided to go behind this property to see what they're housing? We've got to live down there. You know, this is our home. You know, we weren't allowed to get back there. We thought y'all had better pictures of that, or we'd have done something. You know, they've got a bunch of children. They're in and out of everybody's yard. This man, he's well to take care of himself. He's out there leveling the ground with dirt, everything else. Why isn't he here representing himself? He don't want y'all to see his capabilities. He don't want y'all to see that he's not disabled.
Mrs. Connor, let me reiterate, I mean, what Mr. Connor said a while ago, and I can't project what the board will vote one way or the other, but what happens here quite frequently is you have a meeting between the 2 parties, and that's what he was suggesting, is that if we okay it with no stipulations whatsoever, they can turn around and move out and rent the place tomorrow. If we say family members only, then it is family members only, and nobody else can ever move in except family members, and they move out, it's got to move. And that's what Mr. Connor was offering to you. Now, like I said, I don't know how the board will vote one way or the other, but that's what he was
Yes, sir.
suggesting.
I understand that.
As a stipulation.
Well, I understand that, but if you are an ill person and you needed that care for that ill person, would you not be in the same home taking care of that ill person if he's that ill, instead of having to move a secondary home onto a property? I know I had a sick mother that just passed away. I couldn't move her out there on my premises at a camper trailer. You know, she didn't want to live in my home, so I was going to give her a secondary place nearby. I couldn't do that. I was not able to do that. Why now it's okay?
Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Doucette?
You brought your abstract.
Yes, I did.
That, in your opinion, and I'll move, but I'm asking for your opinion. Does the property across the street governed under the same abstract and involved in the same subdivision as your home?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Would you care to look at it?
No, ma'am. But what I will do is I'll make a motion to defer for 30 days to have legal counsel look at the deed restrictions on that property. And if it's deeded that way and restrictions are that way deeded, it will sway, it'll decide, give me information on how I'll vote.
Well,
Ms. Wallace, excuse me just a minute. Would you address that for us, please?
I would just like you to keep in mind that we do not enforce subdivision restrictions. Any time we reference subdivision restrictions, it is purely out of courtesy. Any problem that this woman and gentleman have with another property owner over their subdivision restrictions needs to be handled in civil court. We are not the enforcement agency.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions
Thank
or
you for the
comments?
information.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Blanchard. Okay, I need a motion or
I'll make a motion for
amendment?
approval.
Okay, I got a motion for approval from Mr. Doucette.
With the stipulation, did they put the stipulation for family member
They
only?
didn't want it.
No one made that stipulation.
Doesn't mean we can't add it.
Yeah, if you would like to, let's do it before we make a motion then.
I'd like to add for family member only.
Okay.
Second.
Mrs. Cobb's got a motion that it be used for family members only, and I assume that to be if they move out, then the trailer moves with it. And I got a second from Mr. Connor. All in favor of the stipulation state aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Let's have a roll call vote on the motion. Christie, excuse me, I did have a motion by Mr. Doucette. I did not get a second. I got a second from Mrs. Brown. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Duhan,
Yes.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Baker,
No.
Mr. Navarre,
No.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Cobb,
Yes.
Mr. Porsche,
No.
Mr. Doucette,
No.
Mr. Gilry,
No.
6 for and 5 against.
6 for and 5 against. Passes by 1 vote. Thank you. Moving on to our next item. Take appropriate action on case ST03-001-10, Phase 3, a request by Calcasieu Parish Police Jury to reclassify certain tracts of land in Ward 3 near the intersection of 397 and Highway 14 East as follows. Tract A from I-1 Light Industrial to C3 Central Business Commercial. Tract B from A1 Agricultural to C2 General Commercial. And Tract C from A1 Agriculture to I-1 Light Industrial. Ms. Wallace?
Thank you. This is Phase 3 of a study that was authorized by the police jury in December of last year. The planning staff does see this area as a future growth area for Calcasieu Parish. It is mostly outside of the flood hazard area, so we're just trying to be a little proactive and go into the area and make sure that the zoning is appropriate for future development. The land that we're looking at tonight is approximately 161 acres. It's off of East Preon Lake Road, and it is going to be cut basically by the extension of Corbina Road, which will go from Goche Road north to East Preon Lake Road. Right now, the zoning is A1 Agricultural and I1 Light Industrial. You can see by the maps that are on the screen right now, we're talking about the dotted area only. Right now, the land use is pasture and woods, and we've seen minimal development in this area, especially in the unincorporated portions. All we've permitted lately is 2 borrow pits, but the city of Lake Charles, very nearby, has new recreational facilities out there, and then the power center, which has a lot of big box stores. So we would tend to see this area developing along those lines in the future. We do also think that because there's industrial nearby, and if you recall back in April, you guys voted to rezone some property very close by to I-2 heavy industrial. We feel like some light industrial should remain, and that should be expanded somewhat. So we are asking you tonight to rezone this property to C2 general commercial, C3 central business commercial, and I-1 light industrial, and we do have the map on the screen. And we would also like for you to impose the design standards from the interim development ordinance on the portion that will front the future Corbina Road extension.
Okay, thank you. So you say Corbina Road doesn't cross Highway 14 now, does it, Corbina?
No.
So that's what you're talking about, a future extension?
Yes.
I missed that part, okay. Any other questions or comments? A motion to accept it?
The, you've already added in here about the audio inclusion?
Yes.
It's already, okay.
Yes.
But, what are we
Mr. Baker?
imposing on it? I didn't understand that part.
I'll ask you a question again, I didn't hear.
On Carbino, what restrictions are we putting
No,
on it?
no,
The
she was, go ahead, I'm
Design
sorry.
standards out of the interim development ordinance that have to do with the architectural standards of the building, where we'd want to see a brick facade and special landscaping. We want some of the parking to be on the side, low monument signs, things like that.
And I would make
Just
the
to kind of dress
assumption
it
that
up
the
a little bit.
landowner's on board with this.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we did notify them. We work closely with them. It's actually one group of landowners. It's three different investors, but they own all of the property in the study area, and we've worked closely with them to iron this out.
Any other questions or comments?
Motion for approval.
Got a motion from Mr. Doucette,
Second.
second from Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
Mr. Clocheck. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is to advise that the next regular scheduled planning and zoning board meeting will held Tuesday, October 19th, 2010, in the police jury meeting room at 5:30 p.m. Motion
To adjourn?
adjourned.